I have been having a very ADHD type reading situation lately, and I'm like, I can't DNF books. Like, I think I'm physically incapable of DNFing books. So I'm addicted to it now. So I want to finish as many books as I possibly can in this reading 100 pages a day challenge. I should go check what that is.
Excuse me, sir.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah. I have been having a very ADHD type reading situation lately. These are all the books that I'm currently in the middle of. Like, when I go to update my Goodreads to like the currently reading, I have to click see all so that I can see all the books I'm in the middle of, because it's just been a lot. Because I'm me, that has been stressing me out lately. I don't know why, but something about just having like one book on your currently reading, fully finishing that book and moving on to the next book, I guess like normal people reading habits. It's just so satisfying to my brain, and I want to get through a lot of these books. I'm me down to only one. Decided to start a little reading challenge this week. It is currently Monday, the last week of October, which is pretty crazy. It's been such a crazy month. That's why I haven't really been uploading that much, just because it's been such an insanely busy, crazy month. I had like 2 trips, I had a wedding I was in, and it's just been a lot. That's why I haven't really been uploading too much in October, but we're getting back to it November, and Bookmas is coming up, so we're getting back into it. I'll call her back. This challenge is going to be reading 100 pages every day for a full week. That's what I'm going to be trying to do, because like I said, I am like in the middle of all of these. So by just reading 100 pages at least a day, I feel like I can get through a solid amount of these books and hopefully decrease my like currently reading, because it's just been a lot. That is what we're going to be doing today. I am going to go through these books as we get to them, because it would be a lot of books to explain about and talk about in this intro. It'll be like a little surprise of which book we're gonna read and hear about next. The first book that I really want to read 100 pages of is Butcher and Blackbird, and that's because when I was planning this challenge, I was going through all these books. I'm on page 242 right now. And the last page, including the bonus chapter, is 345. That's like 103 pages, I think, exactly. So if we reach 100 pages, I'm just gonna read 3 pages over it, and we'll finish one book. And that'll be such a satisfying start to this video, and will motivate me to continue on with this video throughout the week, because I've already been done one book. I'm also actually very close to being done with this book. This is Allegiant. I took the dust jacket off because it irritates me. I'm listening to this book on audiobook. By the end of today, we'll be finished this book and this book. That'll just feel so good to start our little challenge off. So yeah, first I'm reading Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. This is gonna be our first book of the video. This book is the first book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. The second book came out, I think, in the summertime, and the third book is coming out next year, I want to say. 2 serial killers. I believe it was on one of our TBRs, either my October or our September TBR. Butcher and Blackbird was on it. I've had this book. I've wanted to get into this series for so long, and now we're getting to it. So basically it is about 2 serial killers who kill other serial killers, and it's a love story, which is just like an intriguing plot to begin with. I also started off listening to this on audiobook, and then I like listened to like the first half on audiobook, and I've been reading the next half. But the audiobook I want to mention is really interesting because it's told in dual point of view. So it has a woman voice actor and a male voice actor. Like this is the Sloane chapter, the one that I'm on right now. Of course, Rowan has like dialogue in this, and they actually use the male voice actor to do the dialogue. Does that make sense? Like, even though it's a Sloane chapter, they still do dialogue with the male actor. So I think it's kind of like a little bit reminds me of graphic audio, even though it doesn't have like a lot of the like special effects. But I just love that, because I feel like it throws me off when we're in the female voice actor's POV and she tries to do the male voice. It just throws me off because it's different from the male point of view, but it's supposed to be the same person. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if I'm making any sense. In the Sloane chapters, Rowan still says his dialogue, with the male voice actor still says his dialogue. I haven't seen that in any other audiobook yet. That's not graphic audio, so I thought that was pretty cool. If they start doing that, that'll be amazing. I do like the audiobook, but we are going to be reading it with just my eyes, no audiobook. Just reached a... my cat's singing in the closet. I should go check what that is.
Excuse me, sir.
So we are going to be reading 100 pages of Butcher and Blackbird and finishing this book up. It's also really funny. Like the characters and the writing are actually quite funny. So I love that for us. This book is funny. I love it. It's also very sweet. In like a very odd way, but I feel like it's perfect for spooky season because it is about serial killers and some parts are like graphic and gory, but most parts aren't. So let me just give you a rundown real quick and then we'll get back to reading. In the very beginning, Rowan saves Sloane from like a sticky situation, and then they have this like standing date every year afterwards where they meet up and go a serial killer. It's like a date someone, which is very weird, but it is done in like a kind of funny way, and you know that those people are like terrible people that they're killing, so but it's just like funny the way that she writes them. After a few years they always meet up and they don't really talk besides that one time that they meet up to serial killer. But then of course they start talking. It's like you hear more from the other person, not in that starting date, and then they're meeting up more and that's where the romance happens. That's a little rundown. Let's get back to reading our 100 pages. Hello everyone! Welcome to day 2 of our reading 100 pages every single day for a week challenge. So we're in my kitchen because I am starving and I was about to heat up some of my leftovers. But then I realized I never updated you on our reading yesterday or on literally anything since my last clip. So here I am. I have a post-it note on my Owl Crate box, so that's what I'm looking at. Yesterday, I told you about Butcher and Blackbird. I actually only read 34 pages of our 100 pages, so I still have this much left. So we're gonna roll that over into today and read it. That will go towards yesterday's total. I don't think I'm gonna count audiobooks in this like reading 100 pages a day for a week challenge just because I listen to audiobooks all the time. So I feel like it's not like a challenge, you know what I mean, to listen to 100 pages of an audiobook because I listen to it like every time I'm in the car. So that being said, I just finished the audiobook of Allegiant. This is the third book and the final book in the Divergent trilogy, and I finished this in audiobook today. I gave it a 2.5 stars just to briefly talk about it. Tobias's character like went from being so strong, so not taking anyone's essentially, and he was just kind of whining in this book, and then I don't like how it ended. Like I feel like there were so many other ways that you could have shown what point Veronica was trying to make by doing this to this character instead of doing what she did, to say enough without spoiling it. So 2.5 stars. It wasn't amazing. I wish it was more of a great review because this is the last book in the series, and I did like the rest of the other 2 books in the series, but that's what this is. But I am going to include, since it wasn't in the audiobook, because I got like the collector's edition, it has some bonus materials. So I am going to read the bonus material pages and count that towards today's total. So that is 32. So that's our plan for today so far. We are going to finish up Butcher and Blackbird for Monday's total. So sorry, it just cut me off because I need to change my memory card. So what we were saying, I don't remember, that was such a process. Basically, I'm gonna finish reading Allegiant for our 32 pages, finish Butcher and Blackbird for our yesterday's total. Again, I only read 32 pages into Butcher and Blackbird, so I didn't get like too much farther, but I can tell that there's gonna be a third act conflict coming up. And oh, wait, I know, I have an update with this book. Something happened that I was not expecting at all, but it is like the perfect twist. I could picture it in a movie screen, how that would be so amazing if this ever turned into a movie. Just that reveal that we get here, and I'm so excited to get back into it to figure out what happens. If you know, you know, I'm on the Sloane chapter of Keys. Can't believe that just happened! Oh my god, I did not expect that at all. I'm very excited to keep reading this to see where we are. Without saying too much, I'm gonna say that I think what's gonna happen in this twist is gonna parallel what happened in the beginning of the book that I sort of talked about earlier. Skip this like the next like minute. if you have never read this book before, because I'm gonna do spoilers real quick. Rowan saved Sloane in the beginning. I feel like now this twist, Sloane is gonna have to save Rowan because David is the bad guy. Like, what? That blew my mind. I was so excited and shocked that happened. I was like, okay, this book was getting a little bit like, we were coasting along a little bit too happily. People were too happy something was gonna have to happen, and I think that is what's gonna happen, because that'll be a perfect like full circle moment. So yes, okay, and spoilers. And then also, just to update, I've also been listening to the audiobook, graphic audio version of Zodiac Academy and kind of following along on my Kindle, but because I am listening to the graphic audio version, I'm not going to include it in these totals, but I'm on the first book, Zodiac Academy, The Awakening, and honestly, I really like the way that the story is taken so far. I think I'm only 10% in. I really like the turn that the story is taking, or not even turn, but I just like the setup of this story. I think this is gonna be a good series for me. That is our plan. We're gonna finish up the bonus materials, finish up Butcher and Blackbird, and then I'll be back to see what book we get through next. Okay friends, we finished and Simba is still right here, being such a cute little baby. I just finished fully Allegiant, including all the bonus materials. It was like a couple extra scenes, sort of like the story of how Triss's parents met. It was cute. I feel like it added something to the story, but I mean, it's not necessary. It just kind of wrapped it up a little bit, I guess. That's 32 pages down for today. Going to move on to Butcher and Blackbird again. I am on the chapter Keys, which is in Sloane's point of view, page 276. Like, I know he did it, but he did not. Like, it's still so cute in some weird way. Finish. Monday. Done. Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to day 3, aka Wednesday. You're right in front of a window, so that is why you probably hear the sounds of traffic. Day 3, a new location. I don't know if I like it or not yet. We'll see. Updates. I did finished Butcher and Blackbird yesterday, and I just reread a bit of the last bonus chapter after sleeping on it. I think I'm gonna give it like a 4, maybe 4.25 stars. Because I did really like this book. I love the writing and I like the characters. And then I just realized, I was like, why does Rowan Kane, which is the male main character in this book, sound so familiar? And it's because Rowan Kane is in the Dreamland Billionaires, I think. That's just a funny little connection to Lauren Asher and Bryn Weaver. I feel weird saying that I love Rowan Kane because there are some things in here. The last, was it the epilogue or like the chapter before the epilogue? It really, like, I was like, ooh, couldn't handle it. It was gross to me because you know how Sloane and Rowan are by that point in the book. It's also oddly very sweet. And if you know the scene I'm talking about, anyway, I feel like he's a great match for Sloane, and I think that he was just a great male main character. This is like a fun twist on like the romance genre because it has like the usual strangers to enemies to friends to love, like it has the usual tropes of a romance and the usual, like, I don't know what's called, like the plot line, like the flow of the story is the same as like the Dreamland Billionaire series, stuff like that. It just follows the same formula, but because it has that they're both serial element to it, I think it does add something to it, and it's fun because I haven't read like a serial romance before, and I feel like it does add something new and different because there are so many romance books out there, and I think that's why this one got so big, is because it added something new. And I do really like this author's writing. I'm excited to read the second book. I think the second book is called Leather and Lark. It's a blue cover, and I think the third one was announced and it is orange. It's a trilogy and it follows the three brothers, like the classic Dreamland Billionaires series formula. That's Butcher and Blackbird. We can say that we finished this book and Allegiant now, and I actually, because I just spent the whole time reading this book, technically I did read 100 pages yesterday, but it was like due to overflow from Monday. So I still have overflow from now Tuesday. 68 pages because I read 30 pages of Allegiant and I have 78 pages left. Let's go check out our books and see what we're gonna read next. These are the books that we are trying to get through. 4, which is like a little divergent novella. Siege and Storm, the second book in the Shadow and Bone trilogy. We finished Allegiant. And then we have my Kindle because, you know, I have 1,000 books on here. Not really, maybe like 20. And then we have One Dark Window, which we're that far along. And then we have Midnight Sun, which I honestly really stopped reading because these words are so small on the page. And I know the story, so I guess I wasn't super interested in reading it. I think what I'm gonna do, because I am really in the mood to just finish books, I am going to read 4, which is like a series of novellas told from 4's point of view. Look at this cute bookmark that my boyfriend got me. It is adorable. I'm on page 132 in the Sun novella. I think this has like 3 or 4 novellas. So to get to page, let me think. Alexa, what is 132 plus 76?
132 plus 76 is 208.
Wait, that was wrong. What's 132 plus 68?
132 plus 68 is 200.
Oh yeah, duh. That's very easy math, Sarah. What the heck? I would have to read up to here, which is the start of another novella. So we'll finish this novella and then we'll start this one, which is The Traitor. So that's gonna be our goal for today. We're going to finish this. We're gonna get further through this book. Okay, so thoughts so far. This book has 4 different novellas in it, told from 4's perspective, which is the male love interest in the Divergent trilogy, of different periods during his story, like when he meets our female main character, his life before he chose Dauntless, his initiation when he chose Dauntless, and stuff like that. So I feel like it does add more to the story, and I do love 4, or I just love Theo James. I don't know which one it is. I feel like it's the latter. It's not like necessary. I didn't love how, as you saw, like Allegiant ended, so I guess this maybe adds a little bit more to it that we didn't get in the other trilogy, which is the point of a novella. Duh, Sarah. I think that she said somewhere that Veronica Ross said that she was originally going to write Divergent from a male perspective, from Vor's perspective, and instead of being from Triss's perspective primarily. So I think that this is her bind up of her novellas, like her early drafts of that book before she decided that Triss was going to be the female main character instead of the male main character of the Divergent series. So I think that's where this is coming from. I feel like Divergent is just one of those series that I read for the nostalgic purposes. I always get so nostalgic around the fall time, and why dystopia reminds me of my high school years, my middle school years. It's just like cozy and nostalgic to me, so I tend towards those in the fall. Hopefully we actually finish our 100 pages from yesterday and then also get through 100 pages for today. That's a lot of pages. We'll see how we do. So it is a little bit later. I got to page 200 of 4, which means we have completed our total for Tuesday, and it's Wednesday now. I started today's total by reading exactly 2 chapters of Siege and Storm, and that was 37 pages exactly. And what's really cool, which I think that this is like meant to be, because then I was like, okay, let me just finish 4, right? So to finish, Luna's here. Hi, little Luna. Hi. To finish up this book, the last page in the chapter that I have to read, and then I already read the like last little part, like on the plane. I read all these little excerpts, so I don't need to read that again. So the last page that I have to read to completely finish this book is page 263. And what's really cool is that 63 plus 37 is exactly 100 pages. So exactly the fact that I didn't even like know that, I just read 2 chapters, that equaled out to exactly 37 pages, and then that this is exactly 63 pages to finish this book. I feel like it's just like worked out so well. I need to tell you that. So I'm happy about that. So that's my plan. I am going to finish this book to page 263, and then we'll be done with a 3rd book, which will be very exciting. That'll be our total 100 pages for Wednesday. So I'm on the last little novella, The Traitor, which is about when Vor is meeting Triss, like during Triss's initiation. It is cool to like sort of re-see it through Tobias's eyes, like see her and her fear landscape and everything like that through his eyes, and just like knowing that he knew a lot more about the whole plan with like Janine and Erudite and everything like that than he let on. And then with Siege and Storm, this is the 2nd book in the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I am about like, I think my Kindle said like 33% of the way through, because it's also on Kindle Unlimited. So I read that on my Kindle, those 2 chapters, when I was walking on my treadmill. I'm like iffy about this book. Like, I like the story, right? I'm not loving the way that Alina is being portrayed in this book. Like, I'm not loving our main character in this book specifically, and that's kind of what's making me struggle to get through it, because like if you don't like the main character, or if like she's making choices that you don't necessarily agree with, then it's going to be harder to get through. Well, the thing that happened, if you watched whatever video that it was in, the 1st book in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, if you watch that video, there was one thing that happened that I absolutely hated, and it happened in the Chronicles of Narnia too. And when things like that happen in books, like I hate it, like I write it off, I don't like it at all. And she's like, it already happened, that same thing already happened like in the first 2 chapters of this book, and I was like, that's why I put it down for so long, because I was like, I don't want to read this anymore. And then I just picked it up because I'm a perfectionist and I'm like, I can't DNF books. Like, I think I'm physically incapable of DNFing books. She's planning to do it again, and I'm being like very vague, but like, if you know, you know. And I just don't love that about her character, and I'm hoping that there's some like character growth or something that happens, because if she keeps making these decisions, like, it's gonna really irritate me. So yeah, that's how this is going. The story of Shadow and Bone is about the Grishaverse, and Grisha are people with powers, and she is someone who has a very special power, very rare power, so everyone wants a piece of her essentially, and it's her trying to navigate who to trust and also like come into her own powers that she just found out about. And there's a little bit of a love interest in this that's like best friends to lovers. So that's our updates on our books. We are going to go finish 4. Hello everyone, good morning. It is my next day. It is Thursday. It is Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. This is my little work outfit that I have on for today. On the agenda for today is I have to finish 4 because I'm actually on page 228. I have to get to the end of the book, like 263. So like 40 more pages, 45 more pages, 35. I think that it's gonna go by really quickly, so I'm gonna finish this up to finish up yesterday's total. I feel like we always have overflow, but you know, that's what working with a full-time job is when you're trying to read 100 pages a day. For the rest of the 100 pages, I'm on page 182 of this book of Okay, I'm so sorry, my memory card got full again. This is what happens when I have so many videos to edit and I don't like to delete the footage from my camera unless I have fully edited the video, just in case like I lose something. This is what happens when I delay editing, because then my camera is just full. Anyway, what I was saying is we're gonna finish 4. We're gonna then move on to Siege and Storm. We're on chapter 11 right now. I honestly just want to finish this book. So if we're on page 182, we have to get to page 282. We're gonna finish that chunk, and honestly, I would like to fully finish this book and then try to finish another book in this challenge. So I think I'm gonna try to fully finish, like go over my page count for today. I haven't. I know that's very ambitious considering I still have overflow from yesterday to do, but just getting through these books and checking them off my Goodreads is so satisfying to me. So I'm addicted to it now. So I want to finish as many books as I possibly can in this reading 100 pages a day challenge. Right now we're experiencing, you know, Triss's initiation through Tobias's /4's eyes, and I think I said that before. Is it's interesting, and I like sort of like reliving them meeting. But this is a book that I'm not like super attached to the characters. I'm just reading it for perfectionist's sake of wanting to finish the whole Divergent series, and this is the last like novella book in the Divergent series. Bias is running Triss's first simulation and realizing that she might be Divergent. So that's where we're at here. Siege and Storm, we are traveling across Ravka, I think that's what the world is called, with a pirate / there's something else he is, but I'm not going to say it. I think Mal, the male main character, is starting to realize that Alina is my coffee's done. That Alina is maybe taking it a little too far, I guess, like taking her powers too far. He doesn't want her to lose herself, and like I was saying, she kind of is losing herself in this like sudden celebrity and sudden power that she has. So I think he's going along with it, but he's also trying to pull her back. And I'm curious to see if she'll actually get pulled back, because that is the one thing that I said where I don't really like where they're taking her storyline right now. So hopefully Mal can pull her back from the brink. Not the brink, but like making decisions that I really won't agree with. So we'll see where that is. This is also a really easy book to read. It's also YA dystopian, I think. I'm in a YA dystopian mood, I guess, but yeah. Let's get to 100 pages. Hi guys. So it's a few days, maybe a week later. I did say in the other clip that I am backed up on editing, so we're getting our editing done now. So I was editing this video and I realized I never filmed an outro. Where we left off was Halloween. Happy to report that I did end up finishing our 100 pages for Thursday, I think it was. However, I then failed the challenge. I got so close. I did not read, I don't think anything at all on Friday. I did not technically finish our challenge, but we did for 4 days. Even if those days, like the first 3 was basically, actually all days were basically playing catch up, where I never actually fully finished 100 pages for that day's amount. But I feel like because of the overflow and how much I read for that, like the day that we were in, I read around 100 pages any day anyway, but I just fell behind and I couldn't catch up. We did read 4 books in this video. We did not finish this 4th one in the video, but I did finish that after, like the week after or something. So we can talk about all 4 of the books that we read in today's video. Butcher and Blackbird, and we'll go over them more in detail after we go through them. 4 by Veronica Roth. Allegiance by Veronica Roth. And Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. This is the one that we didn't finish in the challenge, but I finished afterwards. The other 3 we actually finished during the challenge. I think our goal was accomplished. I think I was in between like 7 or 8 books when we started, and we've cut that down now to 3 books because we finished these. We've now cut it down by 4 books, so that's very exciting. When I get in these like ADHD reading moods, I just hop around back and forth so much. It doesn't get confusing for my brain because I feel like I can jump back into each world and like I know what happened previously after a little bit, but it's just like better for my mind space and I feel more organized if we only have a couple books going at once. Even if we didn't read 100 pages every day for 5 days, I feel like we still got through a lot of our currently reading, so I would consider that a success. My favorite book was definitely Butcher and Blackbird. My least favorite were in between Siege and Storm and Allegiance. These 3 I was very lukewarm on. This one is the one that I really liked. I ended up giving this one 4.5, I think, is what I decided on. I just thought that it was so fun the way that the author wrote these characters and the way that she put a twist on the romance genre. If you have a weak stomach, then don't read it, or at least be aware that there are some like kind of gross things that are in this because they're serial. I just think the banter was good. The audiobook was really good. Like if you do want to read this, then I would definitely go for audiobook. And Rowan was not a brooding, dark horse character. Even though he was a serial killer, it was more like, I feel like at least towards Sloane had golden retriever energy, so I feel like that was nice because Sloane was like the black cat, he was the golden retriever. I like that trope a lot more than like the grumpy sunshine of the male being grumpy and the female being sunshine. I feel like that's just like overdone. At least the books that I read, it's overdone. So I liked the twists on it and how they switched it up in this book. This is the last book in the Divergent trilogy and also the novella book. My boyfriend and I watched all 3 of the Divergent movies recently, which made me want to pick up the Divergent series again for my yearly YA dystopian reread. I don't reread Divergent every year, but I read a YA dystopian series every year. Like I think last year it was Twilight, the year before that might have been like the Hunger Games. Like I don't know why, but I just reread a YA dystopian trilogy every year in the fall time. I don't know why. The movies did stray so far from the book, and this is a rare instance where I enjoyed the movie story more. Everything that happened in the movie happened in this book. I would have enjoyed it so much more. Like the 2nd and 3rd book really strayed so far from what actually happened. I liked the movie adaptation better. Like I liked the movie storyline better. So I think that because I had that in the back of my mind, it may have altered the way I felt about this one because I just didn't really like the way the storyline took. I mean, it's an interesting world, and then with 4, it was okay, but it wasn't like amazing. Like I felt like I didn't need to read it, but when I was traveling a lot last month, I just threw it in my bag and I would just read a novella per airplane ride. Like I feel like novella books are really good for that. If you have a short time to read, then a novella book is good for that. And that's how I felt about this one. So, you know, I think I ended up giving this one, what was it, like a 2.5, and this one I ended up giving like a 2.5 as well. Good thing we had a really good one for Butcher and Blackbird, because the other three just weren't it for me. Teaching Storm. This book, I feel like I've been reading this book for ages. It's not a very long book, but it took me forever to get through. I actually ended up finishing up on audiobook just because it was so hard to trudge through like actually reading it, because I don't know, like I didn't care about the love story. I still don't really care about the love story going on, and I didn't agree with the way the main character was acting. There is a certain thing they can do in the last book, which is Ruin and Rising, right there, to redeem this whole story for me. But if they don't, then I don't know, I'm gonna be so disappointed because I didn't care about the characters as much as I feel like I should have. It didn't click with me as well as some other books do. On these books that I have, there is a different like animal on each of them, right? This is the second book, the first book, and the third one. There's a different animal, and I don't like the storylines that's involving the animals. So it's like if you're going to put that as like your cover, like the animals, and then like that makes you think like, oh, this is like an important part of this story, and it is, but I don't know how to say it without saying too much. I just don't like what they're doing with the animals, how they're utilizing the animals, if that makes sense. We'll see about this book. I'm gonna finish the last one because then I'm gonna start the Six of Crows duology, which is on our November TBR if you haven't seen that video yet. Those are the 4 books that we read in this video. Definitely achieved this goal. Like I said, it got me through 4 of my currently reading, so that's exciting. But yeah, that is gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!